It sets the land in 7 seasons, centuries have passed, until the day a hero named Mariner claimed his task. Dark enemy we love to play, video games is real, playing until the early morning. Dark enemy we explain, Martin Hayes is deep. Dark enemy we sell my guns and more. As Mariner set off on his quest, he knew he needed a crew. The navigator joined the ranks and so did Mr. Q. Sailing for adventure, stories and for treasure. We will help you through, so climb aboard and join the crew. Deep dark enemy, we love to play. Video games will keep playing until the early morning. Deep dark enemy, we explain Martin Hayes. Deep dark enemy, we sell the games and more. As Mariner set off on his quest, he knew he needed a crew. The navigator joined the ranks and so did Mr. Q. Sailing for adventure, stories and for treasure. We will help you through, so climb aboard and join the crew. Deep dark enemy, we love to play. Video games will keep playing until the early morning. Deep dark enemy, we explain Martin Hayes. Deep dark enemy, we sell the games and more.
Ahoy divers, and welcome back to Deep Dive Gaming. We are returning to our Final Fantasy discussion series on our Stream of Consciousness with Hiro. Ahoy Hiro.
Hello.
And Tyrundeth will not be joining us tonight. He's not feeling well. Mojo bailed, so it's just you and I. She was in here a minute ago.
Yeah, I just noticed you dropped out too.
Alright, so I'll go ahead and kick on the stream. We are talking about Final Fantasy XII, and the only gameplays I could find were the Zodiac Age remaster. So we'll just have to deal with that while we discuss.
Which of the two sources were we using again?
Lacrae is one of them. That's who I have going now. Forget what the other one. Oh, fandom or wiki. Fandom or Wikipedia. I have the fandom site up as per normal.
Well, I'll
looking
just
at
use the same and use the same source. I just think it'll be better that way.
I'm looking at the opening cinematic and going, ooh, ah.
Yes.
This is pretty much... You don't get much better than this. I know 13 didn't look much better.
I don't remember anything about 12. I don't even remember any of the advertising blitzes.
Yeah. This is also
So,
remastered, so there might be slight improvements to the graphics as well. But
to be fair, not by much.
yeah. Oh, I forgot. Ahoy Twitch, ahoy YouTube, ahoy Rumble, ahoy Mojo, and if Mojo Mariner Kitty decides to join, ahoy Mariner Kitty. So we are, as mentioned,
Give her about
on
10 minutes.
Final Fantasy 12. The 12th main installment in the Final Fantasy series, developed by and published by Square Enix, and fourth game set in the world of Ivalice. What were the other three? It was released in March 2006 for the PlayStation 2 and was later re-released in Japan as an international version titled Final Fantasy 12 International Zodiac Job System. That's a mouthful. With heavy changes made to the character development system by introducing jobs. This version was re-released worldwide for PlayStation 4 in July 2017 and for Steam in February 2018 as an HD remaster containing new updates titled Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age, which is what we are watching. Final Fantasy XII was directed by Hiroyuki Ito and who also designed the battle system and supervised the Zodiac Age, with Akihito Yoshida designing the main characters and Hitoshi Sakimoto producing the musical score. Later, on April 30th, 2019, it was released for Nintendo Switch with minor updates. The game is set in the continent of Ivalice, or however you want to pronounce that, in which the Arcadian and Rosarian empires wage an endless war for power, and Dalmasca has been caught between the two and annexed by Arcadia. Dalmasca's princess Ashilia Benargan Dalmasca has created a resistance movement against Arcadia to revenge her fallen kingdom, and along the way is united with a band of allies to seek a power capable of defeating the Arcadian Empire. Final Fantasy XII features vastly different gameplay from previous entries, with the most notable differences being the elimination of random encounters in favor of engaging enemies on the field with no separate battle screen using the active dimension battle system. Characters are controlled with menu commands or programmed using a gambit system. By purchasing licenses on a license board with LP, characters can unlock the ability to equip new weapons, armor, and accessories, as well as to make use of abilities such as white magics, black magics, time magics, green magics, arcane magics, and technics. In the original, each character uses the same license board, but in the Zodiac release, different license boards are used for different jobs, with characters each assigned to a job. Locations are connected by an open world rather than a world map, with many side quests available to the player, such as hunts. Final Fantasy XII received widespread critical acclaim and has retrospectively been listed as one of the best in the series. It spawned a direct sequel, Final Fantasy XII Revenant Wings, for Nintendo DS. What? That's not a sequel. That's an offshoot.
Nah, you can't say that anymore.
Yeah, PlayStation 4 to DS. That's an offshoot. Direct sequel would be PlayStation 4 to PlayStation. Okay, PlayStation 2 to console to handheld.
Yeah.
Offshoot, not sequel.
Nah. Believe me when I say, once the PSP came out, there were mainline releases on handhelds. Believe it or not.
Well, I know that from like 30 years in the past. Was the DS really capable of doing this level of graphics, or the PlayStation 2 level of PlayStation 2 level graphics?
But it definitely wasn't this level. But the DS and the 3DS had very good graphics compared to other handhelds. they were very close to the same level of graphics as the PSP. Not the PS Vita, because the PS Vita came out well after the DS. But they had comparable graphics to the PSP, and the the argument I would present to you for that is Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep.
Well, Mojo says we're both wrong. It was a port over. Not the offshoot or a sequel. Let me do a quick check on that.
Because it says direct sequel right here, Revenant Wings. For the Nintendo DS. It was originally planned as a title unrelated to Final Fantasy XII, but Square Enix executives decided to make it a sequel during development. Although inheriting the Final Fantasy XII title, Yokoyama downplayed its link to its PlayStation 2 predecessor, saying it's not accurate to call this a sequel. We want people to view it as the latest Final Fantasy game, not Final Fantasy XII 2.
Okay then. Well, either way, we might get into that one later on, but it'll depend on how much we can get through Final Fantasy XII this week. Also, I was thinking we might, since I own Final Fantasy XIII, I could do live playthrough while we're talking about it. I wouldn't be able to read much, but we could talk about maybe doing that. But let us focus on Final Fantasy XII for now. So, looks like we got several sections under the gameplay section, or heading. So I'll just dig into some of that. Like most of the other games in the series, the player characters will level, gain skills, cast magic, use summons, limit breaks, and fight monsters. But there are some great differences in the gameplay from the previous games. Like in character development, the player must defeat enemies in the field to earn experience points. Only alive and active party members receive experience points. If there are multiple active characters in the party, the amount of experience is divided evenly. Boss battles give no experience, but do still give license points used to purchase licenses on the license board to learn abilities and become able to equip new types of equipment. What is going on there? Oh, just some text. It's like a CinemaSins thing. It's like gaming sims. Reading. Why read when you can have dialogue?
Right? That, like I said, I'm not very familiar with Final Fantasy XII, but just hearing about that, how boss battles don't give experience, instead they give license points.
Yeah, what the hey?
Oh, that I'd probably have to experience the system to really appreciate it.
Yeah. Let's see. Something like ketchup in solid form.
But will you catch up like it's going out of style?
I need my experience from boss battles, she says. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
So unlike experience or EXP, even reserved party members receive LP from battles. An individual character's ability to use techniques, magics, augments, weapons, armor, and accessories is governed by licenses, along with bonuses to hit points and magic points. Like the sphere grid in Final Fantasy X, but less linear and more complex. I'm sorry, Final Fantasy sphere grid was not linear. Thank you. I mean, I'm constantly turning left and right.
Yeah. It was very spherical last I saw.
Yeah, that's like 2-dimension, not 1-dimension. Or no, wait. Oh, that's a conversation for later. But less linear and more complex, the player has control over each character's individual development. In the Zodiac versions, what abilities a character can learn and what equipment they can use is dictated by their job. Once the player chooses a job for a character, it cannot be changed in the PlayStation 2 version. In the PlayStation 4, parentheses after the patch, Nintendo, or after a patch rather, Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, and Steam versions, Mont Blanc will reset the player's license boards when asked at the Clan Centurio Hall and return all LP. Ooh.
Which is good.
Yes, that's very good. So, magic. To use magic, the player must buy the individual spells from a magic shop. What is this, D&D? Or merchants. Or find them using treasure. Find them from treasures in the Zodiac versions. And purchase the... Yeah. What is this? And purchase... Yeah. Purchase the corresponding skill on the license board. The use of magic requires MP. In this case, in this parentheses, it's missed points, which can be restored through movement. The use of an item, such as an ether, or by activating a save crystal. In the PlayStation 2 version's effect capacity dictates how many magic spells and other special abilities can be executed simultaneously. All of the most powerful magics use all of the effect capacity, meaning when the player casts the game's most powerful magics, other actions are queued until the spell animation has finished. This limitation is no longer an issue in the HD re-releases. So I don't know why I read that to begin with, other than that it was the thing for Final Fantasy XII originally. Deep dive gaming, baby. So now we have summons and espers, or summons/espers. Summons, called espers, oh that's why, are obtained through finding and defeating them, unlocking their license on the board. There are 13 espers, 5 found through the storyline and the other 8 lurking in hidden areas. Each esper can be purchased on the license board after the player has defeated them. Only one character can purchase any specific esper, and that esper is linked to that character, removing its license from the other character's license boards. When the character summons the esper, it replaces the other 2 party members. The esper will briefly remain and fight as long as the summoner remains conscious. Once the time is up, the esper will unleash a special attack, given that the requirements are met for it, and disappear. The summon uses up a full segment of the MP bar for each rank of esper the esper has. For example, the esper Belias is a rank 1 summon and will use 1 segment of the MP bar, while Zodiac, wow, I mispronounced that, a rank 3 esper will use up all 3 segments. Ta-da! In the Zodiac, see, you guys, whoever wrote this wiki needed to say, put the Zodiac version first, and then talk about the PlayStation 2 version after. All this lead up only to see the things I've just read are being contradicted. It's very frustrating.
Right.
In the Zodiac versions, espers have a small role in further governing what skills characters can learn by opening new paths in the license board. The MP power system has been dropped, and using quickenings and summoning espers uses a different gauge. The espers are now controllable, and the player can unleash a special attack at will. Head thump, head thump, head thump. So we, for the next 2 sections, skip down to the Zodiac section and then read backwards. You want to take a turn? I'm a little tired of reading.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, take a break real quick, because yeah, let's chit chat a little bit about what we've read here. I mean, looking at this, I will say that the HD release of this looks very nice. I did take a look at some gaming screenshots of the Revenant Wings release on the DS, and I will definitely validate your statement that this game is not as graphically advanced as this HD remake is, by no means. It's definitely looks like it's a turn-based game or a tactical RPG, and it definitely the art style is the cutesy chibi art style, and based on what I'm seeing. Although the cover art is definitely designed to match what the HD remake here is showing, or HD, yeah, remake.
Can you send me a link so
Uh,
that I can post some of the visuals you're looking at? Or put
there we
up some
go.
of the
Oh,
visuals?
copy that and paste it into the Mariner chat. Boop,
Mariner,
boop,
he's
boop.
brave and bold. A quester who something something untold. I forget. It's been so long since I've listened to my own theme song. I don't remember all the words. Okay, so it looks like you just linked to the fandom.
Yes, if you click on, there's a screenshot about a quarter of the way down the very first page there, and you click on that, and it shows all the images that are queued up for
So we're looking at
the.
Revenant Wings versus the PlayStation 2 release or the PlayStation 4 release of Zodiac. Blah, blah, blah.
Yes,
Okay. Let me just
and I was
click.
saying that there's validation to your comment about graphic capabilities of the DS.
I like validation. Validation is one of my favorite words, especially when it applies to me. Okay, there we go.
Wait a minute.
See if I can zoom that in. Like that? Or do I need to keep looking?
Oh, oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's that. That's the first page they pulled up. If you click too far, it'll start going through other Final Fantasy art and fan art and stuff like that.
Oops.
But
Hang on.
if you click the right arrow, they'll show a couple other clips. Or a couple other images.
There's the cover art.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. The child faces on the adult bodies Mojo mentioned. Oh, there's
That
another
seemed to
one.
be yeah, that seemed to be a very common theme for Final Fantasy in that era.
Okay. Hmm.
And then now it's showing a bunch of other stuff from other games.
Hmm.
But yeah,
There you are.
that's some validation for you. But I'll
Woohoo.
go ahead and jump down to the next stuff.
Quickening slash concurrences is where I left off.
Yep. So the limit breaks are known as missed quickenings. So they just took an old school concept like summons and renamed it to quickenings. And like, you know, how summons were renamed to espers. In fact, the summons behave exactly the same, or the espers behave exactly as summons do in the other games. So I'm assuming that limit breaks or missed quickenings are going to react or behave the exact same way. In the original version, each is available on the license board for purchase by any character. Once a character has purchased a quickening, that space is removed from all other characters' boards. So it seems to be, in my opinion, just to add a bit of flavor commentary here, that major things like spells, abilities, and limit breaks, summons, it seems like every character could access any summons, any limit break, any spell. However, it becomes unique to the character that purchases it and therefore is not usable by anybody else, which tells me, at least in my habit of min-maxing, that you could create probably the absolute most broken character based on a character's stats, or you could create the absolute most useless character. um, so yeah, just a bit of color commentary for you there. Um, Hey, Mojo says that's a very common theme from that culture.
Yeah.
Childlike faces on adult bodies. I dispute some of that because I don't see it that way, but hey, everybody has their own opinion, and I'm nothing against anybody on that one. I also happen to live there for quite a few years. But anyways, once a character is purchased, each character can purchase up to 3 quickenings. There are 18 quickenings on the board. When a character uses a quickening, one segment of their MP is used up. Upon purchasing the second quickening, the character's MP bar doubles and is segmented into 2. And after a third segment is added, it triples the available base MP. Each quickening takes 50 LP to learn, regardless of its rank. Quickenings can be used during battle as long as the character has enough MP and is not incapacitated by status ailments. Quickenings can be chained when used. All active party members who have learned quickenings of their own will join in on the chain as long as they are not KO'd or under an X zone or afflicted with either stop, stone, disable, confuse, silence, or berserk. During the chain, player can randomly get the mischarge command, which restores the party member's MP. Wow, okay. That's actually pretty cool. That's kind of like some of the specials in Xenoblade Chronicles. Uh, in the anime culture, not necessarily. Nippon, Korea is bad about it as well. Again, yes, I see it as common, but it's one of those things where you can choose to partake or not. But that's just, again, my opinion. Just like what they call well, I will reword it as prawn. You can choose to partake or not. Anyways, let's see, which restores the party members MP. The chain building is restricted by the time limit and luck, as the available quickenings are drawn up randomly. Normal quickening attacks only damage the target enemy, but the player can create a specific combination of quickenings to open a concurrence, which deals heavy damage to the target and all targets nearby. Again, this reminds me of Xenoblade Chronicles in their chain attacks or special chain attacks, which is probably inspired in part by Final Fantasy. In fact, I believe it is inspired in part by Final Fantasy. Definitely a different battle system, but I think a lot of the capabilities and the spells and things are inspired. In the Zodiac versions, quickenings no longer use MP, but have a
See?
gauge that.
There it is again.
Yeah. Well, I think the way they're building this article, so to speak, is the original first, then the Zodiac version, which is like a remastered plus DLC or something like that.
I know, it's just funny.
Oh, I'm just picking Mojo. Don't take me as taking offense. And yeah, I can say that, yeah, childlike features even on adult characters. Yeah, that's not entirely a wrong statement. I don't 100% fully agree, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, you kind of can't deny childlike features, because there's often characters that have the most wacky reactions and behaviors or crazy quirks. Anyways, so in this Zodiac versions, quickenings no longer use MP, but have a gauge that function closer to how limit breaks work in other games in the series. This meter can be filled up slowly by participating in battle, or fully by using a elixir / mega elixir. So Elixir is full or full recovery for one character. Mega Elixir is full recovery for all characters. Or to activating Save Crystal. Each job has 4 quickenings, licenses costing 50, 75, 100, and 125 LP. Once 3 quickening licenses have been activated, the remaining 1 will disappear from the board of that character. This is the most relevant to Shikari, whose ninja sword licenses are locked behind quickenings. In other words, you can hard lock out that character's growth if you don't equip or if you don't purchase the proper licenses for that character's quickenings. At least that's how I interpret that. I could be wrong. What in the hey? Weird ads popping up here.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, Split Fiction. Interesting. Anyways, battle. Do we want to go on to battle, or do you want me to jump to a different?
Let's see what else we got here, because we're halfway through the the stream, and there's literally lots here. Like, battles broken down into multiple sections. Synopses is broken down into multiple sections. Let's fast forward to let's do setting and character, and then we'll skip ahead, I think, to development.
Okay, I can get behind that because I'm looking at this and the battle system seems pretty technical, and I actually could see myself spending a lot of time talking about this because this looks like they got some chain battle features that build up like to multiplying rewards. Anyways.
So, the map of Ivalice does not cover the entire world. It shows the area once under the control of the Dynasty King Wraithwall, but now mostly under the control of Arcadian and Rosarian empires. Oh, I should really be like, hang on a sec, let me bring up the map. But then I realized, like, I had asked a question at the beginning when I was reading this, where it said, something to the effect of, this is the 4th game in this particular world. And I went, what other games were they? So let's bring up the map.
That's a good question.
So, okay. Apologies. I'm going to have to move that over a little bit and get rid of that ad. So that's what we're talking about right there. That's the map. So let's close that back out. Make sure this is lined up properly. And moving on. All right. So on the map are the sovereign nation states of Dalmasca, Arcadia, Vujurba, and the area once controlled by the Kingdom of Nobradia, including the Albina Forest. Ancient temples remain from ages past, like the Still Shrine of Miriam, Mount something word, and the Tomb of Wraithwall, as well as villages of indigenous people like the Garif and the Viera. Between the civilized locations are the zones populated by monsters that vary in terrain even within the same area. See, Oja says I would absolutely pronounce Arcadia as Arshadia, just because of the CH in the name. Yeah. I see that on strange names, and I automatically assume it's a hard K sound. We still don't have the answer. Which other games took place in Ivalice? The game set in the world of Ivalice. I want to go look-see really quick.
Ivalice.
So Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 14, Final Fantasy Tactics, Tactics Advanced, Tactics A2, Vagrant Story, and Fortress. I don't know any of those. So none of the other Final Fantasy, up to this point in our review of Final Fantasy, none of the Final Fantasy games take place here. So it's new to this game.
Seems that way, except for Tactics. Tactics took place before 12, or actually released before 12, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think Tactics came out long before 12 did.
Okay. I'm not that sussed about it. I just was like going, if this is the world that we've seen in other mainstream Final Fantasy games, I have not been paying attention.
All right, I don't remember that at all.
So we won't see it again until 14, it looks like.
Which doesn't surprise me because 14 takes place, 14 definitely takes place on a, it is considered a fractured world, and those details will be revealed when we get to 14.
Mojo asks a question: does anybody consider tactics part of the I can't read either. Final Fantasy franchise? Wow, what the heck was that? I'm having a tongue fart, whatever you want to call it. Final Fantasy franchise. There we go.
I don't know because I've only ever seen praise for tactics games. Well, at least for people that play that type of game, because it's not.
I mean, Fallout. Was there a Fallout Tactics game? I feel like that might have been like the Brotherhood of Steel game. I don't remember. Or there was a Brotherhood of Steel Tactics. I don't know.
That is a you and Mojo question because I don't know.
Hang on. Stand by.
Yeah, apparently
Stream
there
of
was a
consciousness
Fallout
has been diverted temporarily. Stand by. Yeah, Fallout Tactics, Brotherhood of Steel. Okay, we'll put that on the docket for a future Stream of Consciousness series, discussing all the various Fallouts, and we'll definitely have to take the fallout from that if the review even bombs. Okay, so where are we? Locations or zones populated by... Okay, the Arcadian and Rosarian empires compete in terms of military and political influence. The Arcadian Empire is governed by the ruling family House Solidor, with an Imperial Senate who has little power. The Imperial Senate will not stand for this. The Imperial Senate will no longer be a concern to us. Let's see. This has caused the Arcadian judges to serve the Emperor directly. The judge magisters command the Arcadian army, Arcadian imperial fleets, Arcadian security and police, as well as the Arcadian intelligence. Arcadian judge magisters are feared and respected in their passion for the Arcadian Empire and the Arcadian defense of Arcadian House Solidor. Sorry, I had to get going. They mentioned Arcadia so many times.
Oh my god.
You see that, right? 1, 2, 3, 4 times in one sentence they say Arcadian. So, the small kingdoms of Dalmasca and Nabradia, I want to call it Nabardia for some reason, between the two empires thus find their existence endangered. Budurba is a sky city that pledges neutrality, built on a sky continent made airborne by the magicite in its soil. And then we got characters. You want to do this one, please?
Sure. The Final Fantasy XII has a cast of 6 main characters, once formed, never changes. 3 guest characters, not including hunt allies, join the party during the story, and the player plays a different character during the prologue. According to the developers, there is no main character, as the game is about numerous people, not just one person. It's a bizarre take. Vaughn? I'm not sure.
I'd be Vaughn, probably Vaughn.
Okay.
If it were 1A, it would be Van, so it's got to be Vaughn.
I could see that. Von Fennel. If anybody understands that reference, I'd be surprised.
Yeah, that's a nope.
It's an anime reference. What can I say? Von is a street urchin and an orphan who lives on the streets of Rabinastre with his friend Penelo. He dreams of becoming a sky pirate in command of an airship, and to travel the world. Penelo is Von's closest friend, an orphan who lost her family during a war between Dalmasca and Arcadia. Arcadia?
Don't start. You'll be going at it for 15 minutes. We've only got 15 minutes left.
You're not. You're a dancer and learned martial arts from her late elder brothers who were soldiers during the war. She joins the party along with Vaughn to help prevent another war. Balthier, real name is Amran Maid Bunanza. I think I got that right.
Yeah.
He
It was a valid attempt. I'm not going to try to improve on it.
He is a sky pirate on the run from his past, and he refers to himself as the leading man. Fran, is this our Fran? Is Balthier's friend and partner and a Viera. Like Balthier, she's trying to shake off the past. She rarely speaks, but usually has words of wisdom to offer. Bosch von Rosenberg, a disgraced knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
What I heard, oh wait, nobody liked that one. What I heard, that one was a Hoover of a game, as in it sucked. All I know is it sounds vaguely Norwegian.
Probably that's referring to Van.
Yeah. Rosenberg is a disgraced knight who wants to protect his surrogate homeland of Dalmasca. Ashelia Benargan Dalmasca.
Bless you.
Right? Is the princess of Dalmasca who does everything in her power to rebuild her fallen kingdom. She was married to Lord Rossler, Prince of Nabradia, and although their marriage was politically motivated, they nevertheless were in love.
Aww.
Temporary playable character, Rex. Vaughn's older brother who fought in the Order of the Knights of Dalmasca. Guest characters, Lars Furness Salador / Lamont, the youngest member of House Salador, the ruling family of Arcadian Empire. He seeks to bring peace. Bossler York Azelis used to fight alongside Bosch in the Dalmascan army, but after the war started the rebellion together with the princess. He looks after Ash as her closest ally. Redas is a sky pirate from the Balfonheim port. He seeks to stop the Empire from using Nephthysite to prevent the events of the Battle of Nabudis from ever reoccurring. Thank all the gods, LOL, a normal name, Rex.
Except I went, no such luck. It's spelled Reks.
Yes, correct.
All right, let us skip down to development. Developed from 2001 to 2006, Final Fantasy XII cost approximately 4 billion Japanese yen. Holy hand biscuits. That's 35 million USD, not counting for inflation. To produce with a crew of more than 100 people. Final Fantasy XII released 2 years later than planned, and its delay pushed Final Fantasy XIII to become a next-gen project for PlayStation 3. Its original director, Yasumi Matsuno, left the project midway. Woof, that'll definitely cause delays. Releases in North America. Let's see, that's all there is for development? Wow. I guess there's a whole article.
Yeah, that's a short article, right?
Well, we got a whole link to a whole article about it. Let's see if there's anything relevant here. Staff, character story, logo, gameplay, music. Okay, I will encourage the viewers to go check this out on its own or on their own, because there's a lot here that we do not have time to review.
Right?
It's a lot of information, but we'll continue on to the releases, I guess.
All right.
Let's see.
I'll go ahead and pick up. The original was released in North America. The game was available in 2 versions: the standalone game with a suggested retail price of $49.99 and a collector's edition for an additional $10. You know, back when that kind of thing made sense. I would not mind a collector's edition that's only $10 more than the base version.
Plus you knew it was complete.
Right.
Nowadays you're lucky if you get that price, and without, and then have to pay a season pass for another $20 to get all the DLC.
And that's and it's rare to get the actual physical copy with it. The steel books are now empty.
Or they have a disc, but all that is the license. That you still have to download the thing.
Yeah. God help you if they ever shut down servers. Anyways, this is a gripe that you'll get to hear more of on Lagging Out Entertainment on Friday nights.
Yes, check out the lives Friday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 o'clock Pacific, featuring Hiro, Chieftain, and Soda Pop, discussing pop culture news and topics of the week. Mojo will be dropping a link in the chat at some point, hopefully. Please.
Yep.
So
Nicely. The collector's edition is an exclusive title offered only by GameStop or EB Games.
boo.
There's another reference for that one that did the same thing. This edition includes the original game packaged in a
Hi,
steelbook,
man, the kitty.
along with a special bonus disc, which contains the developer interviews and an art gallery for U.S. and Japanese trailers, and a History of Final Fantasy featurette, which gives brief chronicles on all released and upcoming Final Fantasy games. That would have actually been a really awesome collector's edition. Dang.
Yeah.
Let's see. International Zodiac Job System. A long mouthful of a title.
Yeah.
Was released on August 9th, 2007 in Japan as part of both Final Fantasy 20th Anniversary and Ivalice Alliance campaigns. It's the first game where Hiroyuki Ito has been credited as both producer and director. Ito did not want the game to get an international title for how different the game was going to be from the other international versions. He wanted to call the game Final Fantasy XII Annex. However, they ended up going with Zodiac Job System. Why?
Must be a translation thing that we wouldn't understand.
That could be. That could be. It was made by a small group of programmers with only 5 main people working on it toward the end of the project. The small team brought on some limitations on what could be achieved, as Ito would have wanted bigger changes to the game than what could be done with the resources he had available. In other words, it was a really small team. They didn't have enough budget to hire on more people, so he had to make do with what he had.
Yeah, I would skip down to the next release of the Zodiac Age, because there's new features and changes and release notes on that, but we're getting short on time.
Yes, so the Zodiac Age. PlayStation 4 port was announced on June 6, 2016, released in July 6, 2017. This version is based on the on the International Zodiac Job System. It has remastered graphics with high resolution textures and lighting effects, and implemented autosave feature and supports for up to 7.1 channel surround sound stereo. The original people responsible for localization returned for the English version: Alexander O. Smith and Joseph Reeder. What a name. The original directors were not involved in the Zodiac Age, but were given progress reports as needed, although the core team that worked on the original returned to work on the remake. The project was led by Takashi Katano and Hiroaki Kato, who had critical roles in the making of the original, as most other project leads had departed Square Enix since Final Fantasy XII's release. Sad day. On September 16th of 2016, Square Enix released a trailer featuring story events and gameplay at the Tokyo Game Show. I would love to go to that sometime.
Yeah.
When Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster became a success, the developers of 12 thought they should bring their game back as well, and the core members of the original development team were brought together, even if it was difficult to find time as everyone was on different projects. When the original Final Fantasy XII was created, it was made relatively high spec with the idea to create an HD version of it sometime in the future.
Ooh, good planning.
Great thinking. The major difference between the original Zodiac Age is that Hiroyuki Ito was not directing. He let the younger staff work on the battle design, although he was still overseeing it. Ito wanted the Zodiac Age to be easier to explore, easier to play, and thus the staff tried to accommodate those wishes when making changes to the game. Jumping down.
Yep.
Actually, that's okay. You have the Steam version. You want to pick up on the Steam version?
Yeah, I'll pick up on the Steam version. The HD remaster version was released on Steam February 1st, 2018. In addition to the improvements added to the PlayStation 4 version over the PlayStation 2 original, the Steam version is further enhanced with new features. Wow, really? Such as 60 frames per second mouse and keyboard support compatible with 21:9 ultra-wide monitors. Woof.
Wow.
Up to 3 HD monitors can be used for a potential 48:9 experience. Ooh.
Holy crap.
Talk about immersive. New Game Plus and New Game... That's a new term. New Game Minus? What does that do? Also are now accessible from the beginning of the game. 3 background music options. Original, reorchestrated, and soundtrack versions are now available from the beginning of the game. Maximize license points and gil. New functionality added to grant players max limited license points and gil from the configuration screen. And finally, full controller support and Steam trading cards. I have yet to find a point for the Steam trading cards.
Right?
A collector's edition was available from the Square Enix online store for $149.99. Oof.
The hell?
It features an official collector's edition steelbook with the original soundtrack, a 5-piece Judge Masters bust set, 6-card art set, and a digital download code for the game. Wow, I got less with my Starfield box set.
Oh no!
You remember that, don't you?
Yeah, you're still salty about that.
Just a little. So,
Don't I'm laughing because you're joking about it now.
Let's see. Fans that purchased the game through Steam within the first week of launch received a 20% discount, a 3-track digital music compilation, and a Steam skin illustrated by Isamu. Wow, that's a word. Kamikokuru. Yeah, something like that. Let's see. Mods will not be officially supported. PC version also released on the Microsoft Store for Windows 10 on February 11, 2021 as part of the PC Game Pass. Then we have the Nintendo Switch and Xbox One releases in April 2019. Now possible to reset and reassign jobs by talking to Mont Blanc in Clan Centurio headquarters in Rabanastre. Resetting a job wipes its board and releases all LP and lets the player start anew. The ability to switch between 3 different gambit sets is added. New Game Plus carries over belongings. New Game Minus does not. What is New Game Minus? There's that word again.
So, okay, New Game Plus, you already know what New Game Plus does. New Game Minus, basically you'll keep your level, but you will reset your inventory, is what I'm getting from the takeaway. I could be wrong.
We'll talk about it another time. Let's get some reception out of the way, and then we'll call it a night.
Okay, Final Fantasy XII was met with widespread critical acclaim upon release.
Big surprise.
Does this surprise? I'm a trend. Every time they release a new Final Fantasy whatever, wild critical acclaim. However, that trend seems to fall off after 12. We'll see that. Anyways, it was praised in particular for its innovative gameplay systems that made a sharp change from previous titles, technical accomplishments on the PS2, presentation, and scenarios. Many critics praised the gameplay and noted its stark change of direction from previous titles. Game Informer stated that while they were apprehensive at first, the result is fast, efficient combat that is packed with strategy and dependent upon characters' roles within the team. Does that surprise you, though?
Not really.
And min-max your character, that shouldn't surprise you.
Nope.
Let's see. IGN stated that the gambits allow players to customize the behaviors of their party mates with an unprecedented amount of detail. I do like that in a lot of games. overall stating that the gameplay was both fun and challenging. Eurogamer stated that the battle system changes are by far the most dramatic to be introduced by any Final Fantasy title, and that they changed the structure of the gameplay entirely while leaving many of the core elements that attracted the fans in the first place intact.
Okay, skip it down to the commercial performance, I think.
All right, go for it.
Within 2 weeks, Square Enix announced in a conference that Final Fantasy XII sold over 2.38 million copies in Japan since release. They later announced that the game had shipped over 1.5 million copies in North America in its first week. As of March 2007, the game had shipped over 5.2 million copies worldwide. Final Fantasy XII The Zodiac Age sold over 1 million copies worldwide within 3 months and reached number 1 on the UK charts. Interesting chart to be looking at when launched. Legacy, and then we'll stop. IGN listed Final Fantasy XII as the second greatest game in the series behind Final Fantasy VI. In July 2007, Edge magazine placed 12 8th in their list of Edge's top 100 games of all time. It was highest ranked Final Fantasy game and the only one to appear in the top 10. March 2009, Edge magazine placed the game 25th in their list of 100 best games. As with their former list, Final Fantasy XII was the highest-ranking Final Fantasy game. In 2009 issue of the Guinness World Records Gamers Edition, the game placed 8th in the list of the top 50 games of all time. It was the highest-ranking Final Fantasy game and the only one to appear in the top 10. The list was decided by a, quote, crack team of industry experts, end quote. And games were ranked on their initial impact, lasting legacy, and how fun they were to play. I raise eyebrows at the crack team.
Once upon a time, the crack team of industry experts would have meant something, but in this day and age, that would be amounting to a gaming hack journalist.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. I was trying to find a way to put it.
I don't know that I put it the best way, but I think I got my point across.
Yeah. Yep, so that, my dear friends, is Final Fantasy XII. I think we got everything covered. So next week I will make the attempt, I think, of having me play Final Fantasy XIII while we discuss. See how well that works out. Which means Final Fantasy XIII may stretch into 2, possibly 3 weeks, depending on how much fun we're having with me doing that. So, in the meantime, I will be back tomorrow at 5 o'clock Eastern Time for more Riven. In fact, we're probably going to be doing a restart of Riven because I think I missed certain things the first time through and I am now stuck. And when stuck in the game, my answer is restart. So we'll be starting at the beginning. Well, it just means it'll probably take less time to get to a certain point, but we're going to try and pay more attention to things and try and not miss some animatics that might pop in that we needed to see and weren't paying attention to. And then
I think I noticed your notification pop up about 4 or 5 times last night while you were streaming.
Yeah, Twitch, or no, not Twitch. It was Restream that threw some kind of glitch at me because I looked up at OBS. I saw that YouTube, or was it YouTube Mojo or Rumble? I think it was YouTube. YouTube quit, and when as soon as I clicked into OBS, I got a thing that said, please remove ad blockers to resume, and everything went offline. So, yeah, I went in and disabled my ad blocker in, what was it? I want to say Google, but I can't remember now. But anyways, I hit the start stream button again, and everything behaved somewhat normally after that. So, Restream was having issues. So we'll
absolutely bizarre.
Yeah. But anyways, yes, and then Riven will resume on Thursday night, 7:30 Eastern Time on Lagging Out's channel. And we'll see if we can actually make progress. And then Friday
And-
night, again, catch Hiro on the Lagging Out Live podcast, talking about pop culture news and topics of the week. And oh boy, where are we going to... Well, I assume we're going to have some good topics. If you caught last week's live, there was definitely some conversation there. Although, how you guys got through all of that in 2 hours is still surprising to me.
There was short conversation on a couple of those that I expected to go on longer, but in all honesty, I suppose it wasn't realistic to expect too much conversation on some of those things. It was a shorter stream. I think there just didn't happen to be as much commentary on things as I thought there would be. So just to kind of sort of steal the thunder from Mariner here, don't forget to check out the Lagging Out website. Personally crafted by the one and only Mariner. Well done, good sir. And I do believe that we made some good tweaks to the site, by the way. I haven't seen a whole lot of spam since I enabled some of the verification stuff, the CAPTCHA stuff.
Okay, cool.
I will double check it, but that's stuff for offline.
Yeah. I will be contributing. I will be trying to put together an article tomorrow for the last live. I still need to go watch that back, but it doesn't sound like there's really much there. So I'll pick a topic and do some writing. We are looking for contributing writers for the Lagging Out website. If you want to know what kind of things we write about, go to lagginout.com. Thank you, Mojo, for the link. But I think that is it for this stream. So until next time, enjoy Final Fantasy. Fair winds and fun gaming, y'all. Say goodnight, Hiro.
Good night, Hiro.
Perfect. Bye, y'all.